Hey everybody, America stands in the middle of a storm, a clash between the far left chaos and conservative resolve. The radicals push division, censorship, and open borders, while conservatives fight to hold the line of law, liberty, and order. It's a battle of noise versus truth, mob versus the rule of law and constitution. Yet every headline, every protest, every courtroom fight is another skirmish in this war of the nation's soul. The question is no longer left versus right. It's whether America survives as the land of the free or falls into the permanent decline. Join me as we dive headfirst into the battle of America. And I'll give you my 2 cents worth.
President Donald Trump today doubling down on sending National Guard troops to Portland. In a new statement, the president says he's sending those 200 troops down to Portland over Antifa violence and federal property threats. Let's get straight to the evolving situation outside the ICE facility. That's where our reporter, Victor Park, has been all night. And Victor, earlier tonight, you saw federal agents drag away multiple protesters. What's going on?
Barry, at least people were taken into custody by federal agents. I want to show you what is happening right now. It is pretty calm as those protesters gather outside of this ICE building, but we have not seen the amount of aggression from ICE agents in the last...
These people are going to go into shock tomorrow. Not only are they going to show up, but they're not going to show up and F around with them.
Couple of days compared to tonight. In fact, take a look at this video and you're going to see those ICE agents and Border Patrol agents, dozens of them, who began marching down some blocks surrounding the ICE facility. At one point, they tackled someone to the ground before arresting them. Agents also shot pepper balls before retreating back to the ICE facility. All this to say that has been happening after agents clashed multiple times with protesters tonight.
And they're going to come out, they're going to come back, and they're going to be trying to sue him. Oh, he pushed me down. He handcuffed me. He yelled at me. He made me get up out of the middle of the road.
The protest outside the ICE facility in South Portland escalating Tuesday night. Video shows Border Patrol agents clearing the driveway for a vehicle. Those agents then standing face to face with protesters. Then one officer pulls a protester to the ground.
Get back over
Seconds later, 2 people are carried by those ICE agents. Earlier in the evening, a man stood in the driveway of the ICE facility. Protesters yelled at him to back off, but the man refused, and moments later, agents tased him before backing off. Well, protesters tell us the man was not part of their group and that they have no idea who he is.
We kept our eye on him because safety of everybody out here, not just us, is one of the top priorities. And I just don't want anybody who saw that clip to go ahead and look at that and be like, this is what they're doing, because that's not.
All this.
I'm pretty sure this guy is shooting heroin up in his arm 3-4 times a day and fentanyl twice at night. That's the kind of safety margin these people are worried about. Like I said, I know. I'm from Alaska. I've come down to Portland many times.
Happening during the 4th night of protests outside the ICE building. Many angry over President Trump's decision to deploy National Guard troops to the city.
I would love to say that it would make things better, but based off of the actions of the people inside without supervision.
So yeah, these aren't your typical people. These aren't even grown-ups. And for what part of them that is over or seems to be over 18, they're derelict. They're derelict, and they're morons. They have no values or standards or integrity or ethics or demeanor. No standard operating procedure to be a grown-up. That's just simply the truth.
Back out here live, make no mistake, it is peaceful. But earlier, we saw those agents firing pepper balls from the roof of the ICE building to protesters down right below and across the street. We've also heard a helicopter and seen it hovering above for several hours. Agents taking a much more aggressive approach tonight, and there is also a lot of uncertainty here as to what will happen next if or when those National Guard troops arrive.
We know what's going to happen.
We'll keep you posted here on K2. In the meantime, we are live here in South Portland. I'm Victor Park, K2 News.
Yeah, they're gonna fall down and cry for help. ICE did this to me. ICE is trying to arrest me. I'm illegal. I'm an American.
Video from South Portland. Victor, thank you. And tonight, President Trump continued to double down on his deployment of National Guard troops. In his statement today, or speaking today, he referred to those ongoing protests at the ICE facility and a recent phone call with Oregon Governor Tina Kotek. Listen here.
And this is what I voted for. This is what we voted for.
And I get a call from the Liberal governor. Sir, please don't come in. We don't need you. I said, well, unless they're playing false tapes. This looked like World War II. I said, this place is a nightmare. It's certainly not the biggest, but it's one of the worst. It's brutal.
Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley also sharing his thoughts on President Trump's speech today, saying this on CNN this morning.
Portland has, among the 68 largest cities in the country, the largest drop in murder rate in the country. It has a 20% drop. In fact, it's been cut in half. A 20% drop in violent assaults. And Portland is pretty calm and peaceful and recovering, and business has been coming back downtown. We've been recovering from the riot.
Liar. He's lying just like all the rest of them. It's like we can't even see. Don't believe your lying eyes. Do they even know that cameras and the internet, do they realize the internet is an ongoing thing every day, that it works every day, and it's working right now? And when you record something, you can literally be recording it right up to the internet. Somebody on the other side of the world is watching what somebody's holding up in their camera, and I don't think they understand that.
It's that Trump incentivized and stimulated back in 2020, and we're like, stay away. And my message.
Senator Merkley also told anyone who wants to join protests to keep them 100% peaceful. He's also calling on Portland to, quote, not take the bait by resorting to violence, saying the president is using violence to justify more authoritarian control.
This guy's totally delusional.
And earlier today,
totally delusional. They don't even. He acts like this hasn't even been going on for 108 days.
K2 visited the state capitol, catching up with Republican Representative Alec Scarlatos, who served in the Oregon National Guard before running for elected office. Representative Scarlatos gave us his thoughts on what's being done in the hours leading up to the deployment of federal troops.
Well, I imagine right now they're getting trained up on all the things that they need to do, what they're allowed to do, what they're not allowed to do. And then I would imagine they're going to break up into their separate units and squads and figure out their mission. Not everyone's going to have the same mission, but they're going to be, crowd control, detaining agitators, things of that nature. But at the end of the day, it's going to just be a lot of peacekeeping, and I imagine their presence is going to try to tone down a lot of what's going on outside of the ICE facility in particular.
And as we have reported, the Trump administration authorized 200 Oregon National Guard troops to...
It's a shame that it's actually come to this. These people they've just lost their mind. They think they're in a third world country, and now that they realize that Trump's not playing around with them, now they're coming. They're counting their P's and Q's and sharpening up their bows and getting their guns loaded or whatever it is they're doing, and they're gonna start doing some grandstanding. Once they get here, there's going to be a couple people come right off the bat and try to get arrested or shot or whatever, because they got to tempt it. They got to push back as hard as they can until somebody gets shot and probably killed before they're going to start waking up. And it's just crazy. I would not even believe that I was going to get to see the 60s all over again. I didn't see them the first time.
to deploy to Portland and stay for a 60-day assignment. Stick with K2 News for the latest.
Let's see what else we got going on here. Mayor Brandon Johnson has another meltdown. Oh, this looks good. And I got nothing. What's going on here? Oh, sorry about that one.
The investments to build the safest, most affordable big city in America.
Mayor Johnson.
How many people did you talk to this week? Because like millions last week. Millions, though, right?
Well, hundreds of thousands, if not.
Okay, so it went down this week.
Questions, comments, likes and shares every time.
Okay.
Guaranteed. It's a gold mine. Here's the question that they want to know the answer to.
Thousands of people.
The Department of Justice investigation into your racist hiring practices can very likely result in millions of dollars in damages.
He did not wake up this morning thinking he was going to see this, because the kind of meltdown that's going on in this guy's brain right this second is, what am I going to say next? How many lawsuits am I going to have coming out? How many people are going to be literally waiting outside the building? Is there a protest line out front? The fact that they just slammed him with the racist card, and it's all true. It's all true. He's one of the worst. He probably is the worst mayor in the history of America.
And that you and your administration will be personally liable for. Yet your legal response to the Department of Justice is to attack them. It's unhinged. Legal experts that I have talked to say that it's unhinged.
Okay, we're going to get to the question now.
Look at them both
regular
back.
Chicagoans,
Otherwise, we're going to keep moving, sir.
Regular
Look at them
Chicagoans
both
are
back.
saying to me that they're concerned about you. That they,
All right,
there's
we need the
widespread-
question now. We need the question
There
right
are
now.
widespread rumors of your panic attacks. That,
All right, we're gonna keep moving.
They're concerned.
Here, Charlie.
They're concerned about your mental health, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, the people of Chicago want to know: are you okay?
I asked that same question about you last week, if you're okay, because it's not clear to me that you are, and I mean this with all sincerity. I want you to get the help that you need. I do. Seek it. Seek it.
Do you think I'm the one
Let's
that's
move
Chicago?
on to the
Yeah,
next
we'll go
one.
to
Let's move on to the
Charlie.
next question.
A question about the people
What
of
else
Chicago.
We're going
we
to keep
got?
moving. Thank you, though.
Another question coming up.
7 children were shot.
Yeah, he addressed that.
Mass shooting.
He addressed that, sir. Yep.
Yet you and Stacy, your wife,
Oh my
have
God.
over 150 sworn police officers.
That is
protecting you.
funny.
Why is your life and Stacy's life more important than the children of Chicago, Mr. Mayor?
I want you to get the help that you need, sir.
That was the blast. Brandon Johnson, never been put on the spot so bad, and the guy just blasted him out there. And you know what? It's the truth. Why do you think your safety is worth so much more than a little girl's? Is that what he said? This guy just has just delusions of grandeur that everything's just peachy king. And all the people in Chicago are right behind him. They're all on the same page. They're all gung-ho about getting shot at every night. Yeah, that's what it is. It's too much to believe. But listen, let me know what you think down in the comments. Hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.